Hi, it's Chris, and welcome back to the Sea. What do we have on the show today? I have a repair for Dr. Phil. So here's the box from Mr. Kevin G. Inside of this, there's a Pi Storm box, and I believe I have to fix a Pi Storm. 3D printed to put on my A1200 Pi 02W so the keyboard doesn't short it out. What do you think? I think that's cool. Inside of this Pi Storm box here, there is a note. Pins need repair, it says. Alright, we'll see what we can do. Hey Dr. Chris, this is the Pi Storm 500 that shows an EMU68 screen. When I put it in my A500, probably a bad solder joint in the pins I repaired. Use it if you can fix it. Also, I'm sending a few odds and ends that I have purchased for some of my repairs and some parts you might be able to use for other Amiga fixes or other things. I'm getting much better at repairs. So we're going to send everything to Kevin now, okay? I bought a hot air rework station to make things easier. We're definitely sending everything to you. Hope you can use it all. Keep on with the Amiga life. Yeah, Kevin G. Well, Kevin, I thank you for whatever else is in this box. I see some GoTech buttons. That's great because I broke mine off. I see something. It looks like a little tiny micro, like my PC, my HP PC is really tiny. Yeah, it's okay, ladies.
I'm really sorry.
I was in the pool!
It looks like a card cover. MOSFETs for Amiga battery module, like the one I included here. Okay. Headers for a Pi Storm in case the one I send here needs a new one. I think these are the GPIO headers. Yep, GPIO headers. Thank you. I have a couple of these myself. 2.5 or 2.0 millimeter IDE pins, which is what this box needs. Ouch. Wow, I don't know what spacing these are, but that's not Amiga. That's like a weird pitch something socket. I don't know what that's for, but okay. And here we go. The lecture at hand, a A500 battery module with a MOSFET, which is basically a blocking diode so you don't reverse feed a little NiCad battery here. Oh, we have some battle damage near my crusty finger up here. And this camera will never focus, so you'll just have to take my word for it. Pin header. Looks like it might have crossed the streams. I don't know if the GPIO may need to be replaced. I don't see broken pins. Pins need repair, so maybe that's it. This is an Amiga kit Pi Storm. I do have my Pi Storm I always keep up here. But that's going to come in handy. And Kevin, I thank you for these bits. We're going to use, actually, I'll use one of your donated little parts for this. This is an Amiga 1200 from Dr. Phil.
I need a break to unfurl this in my mind.
Yes, Dr. Phil uses Amigas. Me and Dr. Phil converse all the time. You know, two doctors, except, whoa, shit. Except he's a real one, and I play one on TV. This looks like it was some cans. The Gatorade Company. So this is Gatorade box. Tonight's interrupter is Mr. Jonathan from the United Kingdoms of Great Britain, asking me if I saw a conversation on Discord. Foam in case of Gatorade, that is great job. We have fully encased foam, so just because she looks like Gatorade on the outside, she's nice and protected on the inside. We have a contraption. So here we have Dr. Phil's thing. There's wires. What in the hell is this? This is a PCM-CIA adapter that has DuPont connectors falling off of it. No idea what's going on here. We have a Amiga Kit RTC clock sensor. I know what this is for. We have an individual computer's AGA Mark III. I think I removed the modulator on this. Did I? Don't know. I don't think I've touched this. There's no Dr. Chris sticker on it. I have no idea. However, This is our victim right here. Dun, 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 dun. We have a West Virginia toothbrush, and that means her teeth are missing. And Mr. Kevin just so kindly donated the exact parts I need. I have that, but this is a working 1200 that I am only going to, look at that heatsink. I'm going to have to be very careful with this thing. I'm going to flip her over on her belly, and I'm going to probably manually solder pump this out. Whoops. Manually solder pump this out one at a time. The solder gun is a little too big to get in here. I can knock this out in a few minutes with, yep, old solder and me don't get along. There's a little blonde kid in the UK that fixes Amigas, and she wears spandex and has 100,000 followers. Told y'all fat old guys, think if I wore some spandex, think I can get 100,000 followers too?
How about no?
Alright, so I've added solder to this turd. Now I'm gonna clean off what I just did. Get all that flux out of there. Now we can finally remove the solder. Yay.
Too much.
It's 40 pins. I'll see you in a minute. Now, ouch. With it out, I can see it actually had some green rot on it. So I'm going to use that and some solder tweezers here. And just touch them. Yeah, that's some rot. So the pins were actually rotted off. They broke inside the plastic, hence this blackness here. So we'll clean that up in a minute. And yeah. I'm gonna first bottom flux. Just bottom flux it. Debraid it. Even desoldering wick. Just debraid it. Just pull all that old crap out. And the new crap that we put on to help the old crap on the bottom. A couple of these spots were kind of top heavy. Top heavy meaning there had a lot of rot on the top. So again, a lot of flux. We need to clean this up. It's gonna smoke a lot.
Ah, man.
Go slowly. No hurry. The flux do the work. There we go. Whew, there's a lot of solder you pull out of there. Alright, with that, now we're gonna cool her jets with a little blast of Hooper's Hooch and a cotton swab to pull off the flux and any corrosion and crap that we couldn't get out. Then we're going to check our holes before we add our new pin header. You can see some blackness in there. Look at that. There is some blackness. I got to look at my email from Dr. Phil and figure out what I'm supposed to do with this besides a header. Modulator shows 4 pigs and it was snipped. Before you put the soldering iron to it again, where I'm going to fill it up, braid it out. Mainly in this top pin. I think this was a little bit of corrosion right here. Boom. Extract that hole nice and clean. Knock your crap on the floor. Alright. Now, Mr. Kevin G, not the regular Kevin that graces us with his texts, sent me the headers in a thank you package and fix a pie store. So I got to count out 44, which is that many. And then I'll take Mona, or Lorena, go like that. Knock the rest on the floor so I step on them later. Make sure these slide down. Yeah, you want the little legs to be on the bottom. That way you're just soldering them. That way when you flip it over, you're just soldering them in. And you don't have long long ones sticking out. With those in, again, a little bit of Hooper's Hooch, Mona's toothbrush, clean up the area, knock off any blackness, flux, or doohickeys that you have contributed to the cause. And with that, a new 44-pin IDE header has been installed. Alright, here we go. I got this hooked up. That says individual computers something something PAL. I'm in HDMI. Oh, there it is. It took forever. Oh, this is a PAL machine. So I get these bars. Let's do the HDMI thing and I'll flip it. Now that it's loaded, there's a fart. I'm going to plug in HDMI to this InDivision thing. We're just going to flip inputs to see if it's clearer on HDMI. HDMI with the InDivision AGA Mark III is blue, but that's the InDivision. It's got like tuning and crap you got to do with a keyboard and some software, but that works. It also has a VGA component, which I will remove from my adapter and unplug and plug in just VGA. And then we'll go back to my VGA signal here and see if it looks any better. Yeah, it's still like bluish, but that's the Mark III itself. It isn't as nasty, and it looks great. It looks great, don't get me wrong, it's just blue. Or is that purple? It's not purple to me. I have my Retro Rewind triple buffered, double buffered Super Dude with a 4 gig compact flash card without the AGA Mark III stuff in my pile of parts. I'm going to put my super duper adapter on your 1200, Dr. Phil. Alright, let's double mouse button and see what she says for her stuff. I'm just holding the mouse buttons down. The InDivision takes a second to do its thing. 47.96, that's 3.2, right? And if we see DF0 or DH0, which I know I will, DH0, SCSI 0 is my dude. I'm going to disable the ROM match. Let's just see what happens. It does go to boot from the hard drive, but whatever I'm on here, I think I'm like Kickstart 2 or some crap. You can see the hard drive lights, hard driving, and then it'll pop up in a second. There you go. Please insert DF0. That's the buffers line inside of your thing, but the hard drive is working again. So there you go. There's a bluish InDivision AGA Mark whatever signal 3 and 342 Amiga 7 saved. If you'd like to help me continue to save these Amigas, please consider joining my Patreon. It's $1 a month. I spend more on lunch in one day, or more if you're rich. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.
Amazing Drive Chris, keep the Amiga dream alive. Please consider joining the Patreon.
Yo, it's Big Snoop, D.O. Double Gears. When people ask me, do I really know Dr. Chris? To which I say, hells yeah, I know him.
Thanks for checking this out. And as Dr. Chris says, thanks for watching, and we hope you learned something.
Wow, that was great. Please consider helping Dr. Chris.
Dr. Chris, he's the best there ever was. I can tell you that personally, besides me, of course.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?